Welcome back to my YouTube tutorials. This is ABM Graphics. Yes, welcome back, welcome back. Thank you very much for following me on this particular YouTube channel. I am promising you that I'm going to do everything on my best to show or to guide you on Photoshop and other different courses on this particular system. But before we say anything, I just want us to thank Almighty Allah Subhanahu wa Taala for giving me this such victory and this love that I have get from Allah. Because on 26th of October that I had an accident, I could not give you any video, any tutorial again till this particular day again. So I just want us to say Alhamdulillah to God and everything that God has done to us, because it will have been a story for some people, not me again. So I am very happy for the love God has given to me on this particular day. Yes, so if you are watching me, just say Alhamdulillah to God and say, God, thank you for giving ABM Graphics another recovery. 80% I've recovered 80%, so I can now start up the YouTube tutorial. I can now continue with what we were already doing. So let's get into it and let's get this thing done. So in this on this particular tutorial, we are going to learn how to create or to come out with a funeral book. You get that? So this is just going to be a full tutorial. So this is going to be a tutorial 1. So on the tutorial 1, we are going to learn how to create the cover, the front cover, before we learn how to do the back cover, and then we do the paging. You get that? And that is what we're going to do. So on this particular tutorial, this is my information that I'm going to use throughout. So on this particular design, we are going to learn how to design the funeral cover page, the front cover, before we do anything. So that is first. So keep on follow this particular distance so that you become this. Anytime you are with a client asks you to do this kind of thing, you just watch out and do it very well, and you learn, you practice. That's all. You get that? Yes. So that is the information that I'm going to use to do this particular thing on Photoshop. So let's just get to a Photoshop, and this is my Photoshop on this particular booklet. They want it to be on what is the name, A5. The size should be A5. Yes. So we just have to do anything by just click on a file, create new, and the new we look for the name. We call it funeral cover. Okay, funeral book cover. Yes, cover design. Okay, yes, and then we click OK. And on this particular distance, the person wants the book should be in a landscape form. It shouldn't be a portrait like this. But for this tutorial, so let me just make this thing known to you so that you understand. My display, my laptop display, or my graphics, it makes my laptop this thing screen so wide. So you can see that my screen is not that properly good. It's somehow wide. So even though I may put up a text and you see that the text is wide or the picture is wide, it's not from the distance, but it's just from the laptop. The laptop is having a problem, because through the accident I lost a whole lot of things through that. So for this tutorial, say for us to get recovered and for us to also get the new things to do, I just want us to use laptop to showcase something very small. So bear in mind through the tutorial and don't get upset. So for the tutorial sake, we just have to, for not it to be too long, I'm just going to wrap up with everything. So we have to change this particular document type to landscape. So we just need to go to file, then we come to image rotation, then we click on the 90 clockwise distance. Then we have it just like this. Okay, yes. Then when we have it like this, it means that we cannot design on this, because the person wanted to be in landscape but not in a portrait form. So that is my first thing. So the next thing I have to do, I have to create a background. So I just come and group it, and I'll call it BG background. Then I'll click OK. Then the next thing I have to do is to head over there and just come and put up this particular distance over there. So over here, I'm just going to have this over there. I am just open up this one to be over here just like this. Okay, and the next thing again I have to do, but before we do everything, there is one thing that I did not do: layout. Sorry for that. So the layout, we have to give out the layout so that after print out and you have to trim, you don't have to trim the actual book cover, you know, the actual details. You don't have to trim that, so you have to make sure that you learn all this together. But however, how we just have to leave 1 inch out, 1 inch out. Okay, 1 inch out, 1 inch out. So when I have something like that, and then let me try and change the color to somewhere red. Okay, like this. Okay, then I'll just click on this particular distance, then over here I'll make it 1 inch, and then over here 1 inch. So that is how I'm going to have it. Then I'll have it over here. You get that? So when I have it over there, you see this particular distance is important. So I'll have something like this over here. So it means that I'm just giving out a layout so that I can have a peace of mind whilst working. You get that? So all the information can be on this particular distance without any big problem. You get that? So I can have something like this over there, just like that. Then over here, this one should be somewhere here, and then okay, and then okay, yes. So I can have something like this over there. Then I can delete it out just like that. Okay, so all this can contain the funeral book details without any problem. So let me just come up and open up my distance just like that, and then over this particular distance, what I need to do to it is that I'll right click, and then I'll rasterize that particular layer so that it will be easy for me to work on. Then over there I'll come to filter, then I'll head over to blur, then I'll come and choose Gaussian blur. On the Gaussian blur, I'm just going to use 15.3. That will be okay for me, just like that over there. And then opacity, I'll leave it to 68, just like that. And I love it that way. And over there, file, I'll head over to file again. Then I'll import in another details just like that over there, and that one should be somewhere here. Then I love that one too, just like that. Then I'll have it just like that. Okay, and then the next thing again I have to do is to check on the details that I have to put on this particular page. I have to put that one to on. Then I'll head over, and then I'll come and pick up that particular picture over there. Then I'll just put it over here. Okay, then I'll move it to somewhere here to be somewhere just like that, and I think that one is lovely. Then I'll have it just like this. So over here I'll call it image. Okay, because that is the image of the person, so I'll call it image. You get that? Yes. And the next thing again I have to do is to group another one. Then I'll call that one elements, and that elements can take the text folder, the what and what, everything can be there over there. So the next thing again I have to do is come and click on rectangular marquee tool over here, then I'll pick that one. Then I'll just come and draw something like that over there, just like that. Okay, and then I'll change the color to somehow deep red, just like that, and that one be okay for me. Then I'll move that one to somewhere down here. It should be down over there, just like that. Okay, then I'll have this one somewhere here, just like that. That is very simple book cover that we are working on, so you don't have to feel so distant. Yes, and then the details that I have to pick up is to open up this particular thing over there. Then I'll have this burial and Thanksgiving service. Then I'll just copy it all over there, just like that. Then I'll head over to here. Then on this particular thing, just like that, I'll just come and pick up. Then I'll paste that particular thing there, just like this. Okay, yes, and then I'll change the color to black. Okay, change the color to black. Then I'll have it just like that, and then I'll just cut off, make it just like that. Okay, and then I'm going to increase the size. Is too big for me, so I'm just going to increase it a little bit more. Using Pro, so I'll change it. So I'll click here to make it all capitals, and then I'll just have it just like that. And then over here I'll break that one too, just like that. Then I'll have it just like this. Okay, then I'll move up to this particular range. Then let me check on to change a font for that, so that I'll change the font name, and so the font that will look so distinct on that particular distance, because I don't want to make it stylish. I just wanted to look a little bit distinct. Yes. So let me see. Yes, okay. Marrow. So we are going to use Marrow for this particular distance, and this is that is the font name, Marrow. Okay, yes. And then it's in regular form. I'll try and make it to a little bit so that it will be a little bit bolder. Yes. So let's let me make it bold, because that is will be the heading on that particular distance. Then I'll have it just like that. Okay, then I'll move it somewhere here so that it won't take up some of the details. So over the distance, the wideness over there, I'll widen it a little bit. Let me see, 36 is not widen up. 48, okay, it has widened up a little bit, so it's okay for me, and that is how I'm going to use it. It has come back. Let's widen it up to 48. Okay, then we can have it just like that. Okay, yes. And then the next thing again I have to do is to move it a little bit top. Okay, and then I'll head over to my details again. Then I'll pick for the leads, then I'll pick that one, and then I'll just paste that one to somewhere here, just like that. Okay, yes. And on that particular on that particular text over the leads, I have to make it come somewhere here. Then I'll reduce the font to 48, just like that over there, and then I'll change the 4 to be a capital. Okay, and the T over here should also be a capital. Then I'll have it like that, and then I'll change the font name. I'll change the font name to different, a stylish one. Let me use black sword is okay. Then I'll just increase the thickness so that it will look so distinct for me, and then over there I'll change the color to somewhere red, just like that, and then I'll have it just like this. Okay, yes. And then the next thing again I have to do is to come and pick up the name W.O. Dennis. He was a soldier. Yes, so I'll just pick up that particular distance and I'll put it on just like that. Okay, and then the next thing again I have to do is to change the font name to, let me pick up Poppins, my lovely font. Yes, that I normally use. So I'll make it just like that, and then over there too I'll increase the size a little bit. Then I'll have it just like that. Okay, then I'll have it just like this. Okay, yes, sir. Yes, very sorry for the distraction. Yes, so I'll have it just like that over there, just like this, and then over there I'll head over to my details again. Then I'll pick the last name, Lawe Bunwere. Then I'll just hold alternate to copy this one down there, and then I'll just change the distance over there just like that, and then I'll reduce it to 36 so that it will come a little bit over here. And then this one I'll make it bold. Yes, it should be bold. And then this one too, I'll increase the distance a little bit, and then I'll make that one to bold. And then let me work with my font size, making it 40. Yes, then I can have it just like that over there. Okay, yes. And then I'll come and pick up this particular distance to over there, and then I'll just put that one to over here just like that, and then I'll head over here and place it somewhere here. Don't worry about the font color, we are going to change it in the process. So I can have it just like that, and then I'm going to make it somewhere 36 so that it will go a little bit down. 24. Okay, 24 will be okay for me. Then I'll have it just like that. Okay, yes. And on this particular two distance, I'm just going to pick this one and then I'll change the color. So changing the color, I'm going to change the color to be a gradient color. So I'm just going to select this particular, then I'll come to FX, then I'll go to gradient overlay. Then I want to get to when the gradient overlay appears, that is what I'm going to get. Then I'll open up, then I'm going to choose a color just like that, and then I'll make some changes to it. Yes, I want the color to be somehow different. Yes, far different as I see it. Yes, so let's keep watching and let's see something. Then I'll add up another color just like that. Then I'll make that color to look like this, and then I'll change up this particular size to some kind of color that will match with what I am working. So let me pull up this one a little bit, and then let me just choose up a color so that we won't have to worry more. So I'll just get this particular color. Okay, and then I'll just copy it, right click over here, then I'll copy it and paste it on this particular thing to also take that one, and this one too should also take that one. And over there, there's this particular thing is there, so I'm just going to release it so that it will look very good. So now I'll have it just like that. Okay, yes. So there is saving, so I'm just going to save it so that we won't have any problem in the process. So the next thing again I have to do is to come and pick the dates. This date is for the date that the funeral is going to happen, the burial service and everything. That is the date. So you put that particular date over there just like that, and then you move it a little bit over here, and then you can decide to leave it somewhere small. It shouldn't be too distant like that. Okay, and then you come up with you leave it a color of black, which will be okay for you. And then the age 49 is, sometimes people add it, some don't add, but you just need to make it clear for everyone to see that there is the person and all that. But if the client wants you to remove it, you can still remove it, but if the client don't want, you can add it. So I'm going to come up with a circle, then I'll hold shift to draw a perfect circle. Yes, there is a perfect circle, but because my screen is having a problem, you see it looks so wide. Then I'll put it somewhere here. Then I'll head over to the gradient distance so that I'll give it a gradient color, and that particular gradient color will look so good for me. Then I'll have it just like that. Okay, and I'll duplicate it by pressing Ctrl J to duplicate. Then when I duplicate it, and I'll hold shift alternate to just pull it down like that. Okay, and then I'll head over to FX, then I'll come to shadow, then I'll just pump up a shadow on it so that it will look somehow this thing. Okay, yes, then I'll have a shadow just like that, then I'll have it just like this. Okay, then I'll move out just like that, and then over there I'll type in the age. Yes, just like that. Okay, then I'll have it just like that, then I'll have it just like that over there. And then the next thing again I have to do is to put the 49 over there just like that, and then I'll have it just like this. So let me just make some changes to it by changing the font to Poppins and changing this one to Poppins. Yes, you have to watch the kind of font that I'm using and the kind of how many times I'm using it on the distance, so that you won't complicate things by putting so many fonts on your distance and your work will look so wretched. Yes, then I'll have it just like that over there on this one, just like that. On focus, the distance should be a little bit bigger, and then you have it just like that. Okay, then this one you can just make it somehow small. Yes, and then you add up what is the name, you add up the year, so you just type year 49 years. Okay, then you let that one to come somewhere down here, then you reduce your distance again to match up with this. So this particular, this one and this one should pick up the same distance. So I'm just going to select all, then I'll change the color to black. Yes, and all should be in black on that particular thing, all the color, everything talks about anything on that. So you can have it just like that on that particular thing. And then this one, you can make it bold. It should be very bold so that people can see what you really mean. So there is just a funeral book cover that we are working on, and then we can have this like that, and that is how the funeral book cover is going to look like for today. Yes, so thank you very much for watching. This is ABN Graphics. Watch us for the next tutorial, which is going to be the back cover before we do the paging, before we do the printing. Thank you very much for watching. This is ABN Graphics, and have a nice day. Bye bye.